You know, there's been a coup. We don't have any resemblance to a government that believes in a republic. We don't have honest money. We don't have integrity. We don't even have people in Washington that even pretends, you know, that you're supposed to tell the truth.
God bless Israel. Right. We should move all our stuff to Israel. I'm not with you. I'm with Israel. I will be with Israel to our dying day.
At least Lindsey Graham is now talking about the state that he represents.
I go back to South Carolina. I'm asking them to send their sons and daughters over to the Mideast.
Every age group in the United States, even the baby boomers, are in a plurality opposed to the war in Iran.
We're going to make a ton of money.
I wonder who we is. Here's an Israeli general talking about how much money Israel will make selling military technology that the United States made. The news anchor on I-24 asks, how will we produce it? He responds, we have 1.4 billion Indians to make it for us. These people started a war they can't finish. They would use American bodies to fight the war. They'd use American money to fight the war. And then they'll dangle it right in your face.
To our steadfast partner, Israel, your mission is being executed with unmatched skill and iron determination.
Your mission, not our mission, not the American mission. Israel, your mission. The Secretary of War is fulfilling your mission with iron determination. Mask off completely.
I'm reporting to you from the town of Sir al-Gharabiyya, but I have a message to the American taxpayers. While you're unable to afford groceries and probably one medical emergency away from bankruptcy, your tax dollars are going directly to Israel. The money is used to buy weapons to kill civilians in foreign countries. I have lost count of the number of massacres that have happened just in the last 24 hours here in Lebanon. It is dizzying. It is the site where Israel yesterday killed 19 civilians. Targeting residential areas is a war crime.
Because now we have an opportunity. We had taken the decision, which is a historic decision, and we must do it rationally, of course. We must not miss this opportunity with partial results. So we will continue until the minute that we and our partners think it is appropriate to stop. We are not close there, as the President of the United States said yesterday.
Sir, that's not what you told us before conference.
This is a short-term disruption for the long-term gain.
Short-term pain for the long-term gain.
Short-term pain be for long-term gain.
We're going to have some short-term pain with long-term gain.
Short-term pay for a long-term gain.
Some short-term pain, yes, but we've got some long-term gain. Short-term spike for a long-term gain.
Some short-term pain for American consumers.
We may have to deal with that in the short term.
Short-term and temporary.
Temporary short-term pain.
It's going to suck in the short term.
Some short-term pain.
Short-term pain. We have to focus on the short term.
Short-term.
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 Short-term and long-term.
Short-term blip. Hopefully this is a short-term pain. Short-term is highly outweighed of the long-term benefits.
Some short-term pain for the long-term gain.
Short-term sacrifice for a long-term gain.
Our president will start a war with Iran because he has absolutely no ability to negotiate. He's weak and he's ineffective.
Greetings, my BBPN family. This is Bold Perspectives Network. I'm Mr. Red. Now, I set up that series of clips because I wanted to highlight a few things. First of all, Lindsey Graham, okay? That piece of shit. He is a sniveling snake. Back in the day, this was a man who said that if we let Trump get into this government, that it was going to cause irreparable harm to this country.
Talk to the Trump supporters for a minute. I don't know who you are, and I don't know why you like this guy. He's a race-baiting, xenophobic, religious bigot. He doesn't represent my party. He doesn't represent the values that the men and women who wear the uniform are fighting for.
And here it is. Lindsey Graham has been sniffing the booty of President Trump since he's been in power. And now, even worse, Lindsey is now advising it's not real about how to deal with President Trump. This man is a traitor to his country. In the clips that I showed you, we see now that the United States is obviously doing the bidding of another country. Something that I just learned recently, that you think that this thing is just about Iraq, but now it's not real. It's trying to expand the fighting into Lebanon. I didn't even know there was a problem with Lebanon. The It's Not Real minister there talks about an opportunity. And I believe that opportunity is for them to expand. They've already cleared out Palestinians from Gaza. Now they're starting to expand into Lebanon. And there's an opportunity they need to take Iran out. In American news media, they're all synced. Just about every news outlet now is owned by some right-wing nut. And as you can hear, they're all on message. We have much to discuss. Let's strap in. Let's get after it.
And we're going to win.
All
Israel
right,
and the United States, you just wait to see what comes in the next 2 weeks.
The next 2 weeks meaning what?
We're going to blow the hell out of these people. This regime is in a death row now. It is going to be on its knees. It's going to fall. And when it falls, we're going to have peace like no other time. We're going to have prosperity unlike anyone could ever imagine. Peace brings prosperity. You can't do it by talking.
Lindsey Graham, shut your ass up. I really can't stand this dude. When they say peace, prepare for war. And what he said to me, and you all have heard this, and a lot of you all have been really good in the comments, because you all have talked about false flags. You've all talked about them doing something that, using unconventional means, something I've showed you in another video. Why is Lindsey Graham talking about wait and see in 2 weeks? What's about to happen? And I'm going to tell you right now, a lot of y'all are the same way. Hey, don't be out in public nowhere. Stay to yourselves, right? Because you all recognize that would you put it past these people with everything now as you learn with the Epstein files, how deeply entrenched that we are being controlled by another country? Do you put it past them not to take down some other buildings, take out a city, and then blame it on Iran? Iran, who didn't want none of this. And I'm sorry, but that's the truth. But this sniveling little weasel right here, he's giving away the game. Something is happening. Please be safe out there, because I don't trust a goddamn thing that this dude says.
So our fascist government, who lies to us every time they open their mouths, is trying to convince us that Iran's first course of military action on U.S. soil is going to be to bomb California. California, the largest democratic state in the nation, they're trying to convince us, our fascist government is trying to convince us, instead of Iran going to Mar-a-Lago or to the White House first, they're going to come after the state that this fascist government just so happens to hate the most. Do they really think we're this stupid?
Absolutely. Gavin Newsom, from what I saw before I recorded this, he said that there doesn't seem to be any credible attack that's going to happen on California. However, the fact that this was even a thing, or it's even a thing, if something like this happens, would this shock anybody? It shouldn't, because our own government has taken out our own people. Our own government is potentially complicit with another government to have staged an attack that would have allowed them to go over to the Middle East to exploit it for its oil. Yes, we can actually say this kind of shit now, and it's not crazy anymore. Why is Lindsey Graham saying we're going to blow them to heck? And then if that doesn't go well, why would they go after California when, again, you have all these red states? You have Mar-a-Lago. You have the White House. They can easily do it. It makes sense that if you want to disrupt the biggest state of liberals, Democrats, this is what you put out.
Hey, to my friends in Saudi Arabia, I've been your biggest champion. I think the Crown Prince has taken Saudi Arabia in a completely different direction in a good way. But here's what I want to say to Saudi Arabia tonight. I'm willing to do a mutual defense agreement with your country to give you protection in perpetuity. Under the agreement I've been pushing, and I hope we can continue to talk about, if you're attacked by Iran, we would go to war for you. To Saudi Arabia, our embassy was hid in Riyadh. Do you not have an obligation to join the fight with us?
How is this guy authorized to make these decisions? Lindsey Graham was a nothing. You wasn't even hearing from Lindsey, and now behind the scenes, he's working with It's Not Real, and he's able to try to get on American TV and make this case? Isn't that the job of the government? Who is this dude to be saying this? I don't know if you've noticed, but Lindsey is speaking like he has some type of backing or authority. He didn't sound like this of recent. And that's why you need to shut your ass up, Lindsey Graham. But you see how they're trying to get people on their side? Because the United States has alienated all of its allies. Having Saudi Arabia would be huge, but really it would just turn Iran on them. This is disturbing.
What in the hell is going on? What is the purpose of all of this for an endgame? If it hasn't been clear to you yet, we're concerned that the president and his staff and minions are disrespecting the Congress of the United States, this committee, and simply going to do whatever a dictator wants to do. Now, am I correct that the president wakes up in the morning and says, well, we obliterated the nuclear program in Iran? A couple of months go by, he wakes up in the morning and said, we're going to go to war with Iran because of their nuclear capability. I don't get it. And if you've not yet figured out from the comments of my colleagues up here, we don't get it.
Yes, nobody understands what this dude is doing, and he is not getting counsel from people who are honest actors. He is getting counsel from people who is allowing him to do his worst ideas. I believe that if he's not taking his orders directly from It's Not Real, then the people who he's actually listening to, the type of people he's listening to, they want this war to happen. And they're telling him what to do. Maybe Lindsey Graham is in Trump's ear. But all I can say is, every reason that he decided to put us in this situation, obviously it's to divert from the Epstein files, but obviously the president has got to be compromised somehow in order to have put us in this situation.
What we're witnessing right now is the fact that, Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu said the other day he's been waiting 40 years to launch this attack. And he finally found an American president in Donald Trump who was stupid enough and reckless enough to do it. The Trump administration has no plan. They've never had a plan. Their rationales shift day to day. They have no end game. What we're witnessing here is an administration that has put American lives at risk. We've lost 7 service members, many more wounded, many civilians killed, Iranian civilians, including school kids. And they can't tell the American people what this is all about.
This is the founder of OnlyFans, and this guy, this is Leonid Radvinsky, he is worth about $8 billion. He is the #1 funder of AIPAC, and he's making all this money off of creating a degenerate society. He's making a fortune off of it, using that fortune to then fund AIPAC, which is, of course, the lobby group that pretty much talked all of our politicians into getting us into this war.
So if you're looking for an exit, what's your exit strategy if you're Trump? Well, one of the things that's really interesting about Trump is he just makes stuff up. So what he can do is he can say, I've made a deal. It's the best deal ever. There's never been a better deal. I've made the most incredible deal the world has ever seen. It's really special. You're going to love it. We're going to win. We're going to win like you've never won before. And I'm getting oil concessions from Iran. And then he's going to say, and we're done. And the war's over. And the United States will just simply stop attacking Iran. And it doesn't matter if the Islamic Republic is intact or not. For his supporters, he got to win. And they're going to go, he's a genius.
Now you got people around Trump who is rah-rah Trump, who we should support this man, who is putting Americans in harm's way. America is less safe now with Trump in office than it ever has been.
On Iran, what do you say, people, to Steve, Americans who, are struggling, they're worried about higher gas prices, higher grocery prices, health insurance, making ends meet, don't want foreign wars, certainly ones that don't have end dates and that risk American lives. What do you say to them about why this is so critical? How do you persuade them?
I say to them, Sarah, that if they have children, think about what this world would look like if you didn't have Donald Trump as the president. Because in a year, if you had someone who didn't have the courage to do this action, you'd have 30 or 40 nuclear bombs. And what would the world look like there? So thank God we have a president and leadership at the helm that makes these courageous decisions.
These people are goddamn ridiculous. He got up on there looking like he just had an enema. I mean, look at him. I mean, he looked like he got a stick so far up his ass, it's probably somebody's hand that's puppeteering his ass. And he gonna tell you, thank God we have a president like Donald Trump who would be dumb enough to get us into a war without having a goddamn plan?
Here's Stephen Miller. This guy is one of the worst people in the Trump administration. I will sleep well when I see him arrested for the crimes he's committing.
That some people in this country lost faith in the military and the capacity to use that military to defend us is because we had a woke Pentagon, because we had a military who at the very highest levels, not the warfighters, was forced to fight a less than full fight. What you're seeing now, Sean, is a military that is unleashed in all of its lethal prowess to go out and seek, destroy, and kill the enemy, which is what militaries are for.
See, this right here is why black people don't trust nobody. Because you all will provoke a fight and then claim victim later that they were bad people. They were minding their business. We were supposed to be so-called America first, taking care of domestic issues that y'all didn't think Democrats could do, that Kamala wasn't good enough to do, and now you're talking about we're gonna finally unleash our military on the people? We have literally become the bad guys that we claim that we're not. We have always claimed to be this beacon of good for the world, and this administration has proved it. And now Voldemort has gotten on goddamn TV and said, Harry Potter is the bad guy. That's essentially what happened. I mean, I'm sure he's gonna go ahead. Nosferatu right here is looking to just unleash blood everywhere. He is a terrible human being, and I believe that he has the ear and the mind of the president. Because sometimes the way Donald Trump talks, it sounds like skinhead Shady right here has been giving him shit in his ear, telling him what he wants to hear.
We inevitably get dragged into this war, when we inevitably end up spending tens of billions, if not hundreds of billions, if not $1 trillion, depending on how long that war with Iran lasts, will you guys come back on this show and at least admit I was right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Conversely,
hold on a second.
If it ends within 6 months, Iran is defanged and the Abraham Accords are expanded, will you admit that?
Yeah, of course.
What happened was they supposedly defanged Iran. Why are we back there again? I just showed you in the beginning that we are following what It's Not Real said. We are following what another country, we're following their protocols. It is becoming more and more apparent to us Americans that we have never been in control of this country since the inception of It's Not Real. These people have embedded themselves into these politics. We are just a vessel in which they get their wealth from, their equipment from. We do everything for them. And because they can see their goalpost, which is starting World War III, they have no use for us anymore. If anything, we're degenerates. According to some of their Zionists, we should all be in the ground right now.
There's so much about this moment that is trying to make people feel like they've lost their minds, when in fact, these motherfuckers are crazy.
What you're going to hear moving forward, you're going to hear a bunch of people moving the goalpost. You still got some people that are still going to follow along until the real pain happens, but they're too far gone.
Senator, at the time, you agreed with the findings of the intelligence community. I want to play back what you said at the time. Take a look.
Yep. The Russians did it. It was the Russians who tried to interfere in our election. Every member of the committee agrees it was the Russians. They didn't change the outcome, but they did release information embarrassing to the Democratic Party. It did affect Hillary Clinton. There's only one person in Washington that I know of that has any doubt about what Russia did in our election, and it's President Trump.
Senator, are you now saying that you don't believe that Russia tried to interfere in the 2016 election?
Well, what I am saying is that you left a lot out.
You're going to hear a bunch of people saying, this is not what I voted for. You're going to hear a bunch of people saying, I can't believe that he did this. The majority of people, if we're to believe the elections that we saw, more and more people are realizing how bad this is.
Everyone's saying, hey, look what your boy did, look what you voted for. I voted for none of this. No, chat, I didn't vote for any of this. Who'd have thought that the president could just lie? Mr. Judd, all you guys saying that I wanted this, I wanted none of this. All you guys saying I wanted this, right now, I wanted none of this. Nah, man, now we're going to war with Iran? Nah, man, I didn't vote for none of this.
Stay vigilant, stay engaged, stay revolutionary.